would you describe it to be that everything has a will to power, and the human that fully maximizes the potential of his power is the Übermensch?
Yeah, yeah, that's a perfect explanation for what I'm trying to say here. Yes. And then with the divine taste, man, that description fits in well even with mine. But as far as a modified version of, but so with the will to taste, or I'm sorry, with the divine taste is the equivalent of the Übermensch, but it's complicated because it isn't a person. It isn't striving towards creating the perfect person. Um, it's striving towards God. And what that means is incredibly complicated because it means that, like, it's the Übermensch will be created by striving towards the divine taste. Because if you are always trying to get better in every conceivable way, if your goal is to reach the best taste, if your goal is to reach towards the best taste which you can possibly ever achieve, and you understand, you're meta enough to understand that what your purpose is in life, what you are here to do is taste the best you possibly can for God, and you understand that your whole life goal is to better yourself in every conceivable way to get to that best taste, right? And you understand that, then what you'll also understand is that, like I said, your children need to taste better, and you'll understand that the future needs to taste better. That you need to change society. You need to change everything. You need to change the way businesses are structured. You need to change the way the economy is structured. You need to change the government. You need to change yourself. You need to start working out. You need to start reading books. You need to do all of these things so that you can taste better and that society can taste better next time around and next time around and next time around. And all of this is to strive towards God, is to strive towards the divine taste, towards betterness itself, the divine ideal of perfection. Plato's fucking will of
The
forms, whatever he
good.
called it. Yeah, the good, the one, whatever you want to call it. You're in striving towards that.
That's what
Just
Plato
strive.
calls it.
Oh, he does. He calls it the good.
He also calls it
Interesting.
the one. I mean, he calls it many things, but that was one of the things that made me think of what you were just talking about. Because like it is completion. It is whole, and in relation to us, that looks like a happy, healthy
Perfection.
society.
Yeah. And it's like you in every moment in striving for this um in striving for this divine taste, you will not only create the Übermensch. So I have already rectangle square. I've already principle of mutual exclusivity. I've already beat Nietzsche because my concept includes his and goes farther because mine not only talks about what we will become. But it says to reach even beyond that, to reach even beyond the best man. You're reaching towards something which we literally can't even fucking comprehend yet. We're reaching towards totality itself. You know what I mean? It will literally never end. There is no end goal. There is no Übermensch at the end of the line. The goal is to continue to always be that bridge. As Nietzsche said, the beautiful thing about humanity is that we are a bridge to something greater. The goal is to never stop becoming greater, ever. And it's just like, what a fucking beautiful idea for humanity. What a beautiful way to summarize what is the point of life. The point of life is to get better until you become God. I mean, it's like, of course that's the fucking point. Of course it's the point. Um, but yeah, so
I
that is the
I have
go
a
ahead.
if you're not going to say something important, I
No,
have
please,
something
please
about
do.
divine taste that I'd like to say. The
Yeah,
the pattern recognizer, my brain's going off. It tells me if we had a word for divine devourer, I think that would be cool. Just who you are.
I'm trying to think of what do we have a word which would currently be replaced by that? Like, what is the current closest thing to that? Is Zix the closest thing to that currently within our?
That would be kind of like that's the title of Zix. Zix is titled the Divine Devourer, perhaps. It's
Yeah,
his role.
I like it. I do want to find out exactly where it belongs within all the vocabulary, though, eventually. But I'll go ahead and move on that from that for right now. You should write that down.
Yeah, wait.
Um, go ahead.
I there's one other part. I don't know if you get this idea, but every single time I create an idea, my brain kind of simulates in both direction of complete meaning and complete meaninglessness because like every idea I have is completely meaningful to me, but like in the grand scheme of things, like just one idea. It's just in the changing world, this world's gonna die. Perhaps no one hears this. Like both rings out in my head, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know. So like every and it's kind of coupled with the idea that like I'm going to get like hit by a bus tomorrow. These ideas just shouldn't be, or by putting them down, I am setting myself up for doom. They're not going to get out. It's just inherently
I know
flawed.
that
Like
one. I relate to the first one in a weird way, which is like I almost stopped with that. It's almost like my last sub one experience obliterated that thought from my head of like now I'm left only with complete meaningfulness. The meaninglessness has been kind of sapped from me. But maybe that's a temporary sub one thing. But I know exactly what you're talking about with the feeling of just like